Hey Scorpio, how are you? This is the Untitled Tarot. My name is Lauren B. Scorpio, this week we're going to do your spread with the Seers Tarot. I have one card that would not stay in the deck for you, so I pulled it. We're going to look at it. I was doing your shufflemancy, and that song, Dancing in the Street, came on. Calling out around the world, are you ready for a brand new beat? And I got stuck on that word, beat. Brand new beat. And then I started thinking of like cop shows, like On My Beat, right? And like a beat in terms of like civil service, like your civic duty, whatever. It talks about like the territory that you patrol. That's what like a cop's beat is. And the last reading I did for you was you like coming into like this new ideology or like trying this new thing out and like all up in your Frank Sinatra mode. Like you're doing it your way. No one's going to tell you what to do. And now we have this energy of like this new beat, like this new territory, this new school of thought, this new project, this new thing. There's something new that you're working on and it's your new beat. And then I heard that song by the Go-Go's. Oh, maybe like go, like almost like Chariot energy. Now you're like going into it. Like we got the beat. And then it was coming through like tempo, like rhythm, pace, momentum. So there's this energy that you have about like your new territory, this new thing that you're doing, picking up momentum, getting into the flow of it. And then all of a sudden I had all of this energy come in about like your Indian chart, your Vedic chart, because my moon is in Sagittarius, and I've said this before on my channel, that I feel as though you're born into your Western, your tropic chart, but as you mature, you grow into your Vedic placements, right? And so for me, that means that my moon is in Scorpio, and I always resonate a lot more with Scorpio readings in general, that death and rebirth, than I do with my Western chart. Now, there's something about, I feel like they want you to look into your Vedic chart, particularly in like your north and your south nodes. My north and south node don't change in my Vedic chart as opposed to my tropic, but there's something about you looking at your Vedic chart and you particularly looking at your north node. That might have something to do with like your beat or like the new territory, the new project, or like the new energy that you're like moving into. And finally, maybe because of like your age, you're finally like getting into like a rhythm and a flow and like a pace in it. There's something in that. So let's pray, and then we'll look at this card for you. Just take a minute to honor the Father of Creation, the Utmost High, for bringing these messages and guidance in for you today. We praise you, we honor you, we love you. I ask that you bless and cover these cards today and give me wisdom, clarity, and discernment to deliver them accurately. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, Scorpio. So I have this one card for you, and there's like so much chalked into it. Page of Swords. It's your new beat, baby. This is your new beat. This is you like doing this research, right? She's walking on this sword, right? Like walking on a wire. Again, it's like walking this like thin line between like what you thought you knew and what else you're learning. Because this is a student energy, right? Looking through this book, all these little like sparkly like bits coming out. It's like the alchemy of it feels like you're very cerebral. You're a water sign, but you're coming through like very cerebral. It's like the wheels in your mind are starting to churn as you're like exploring this new territory, this new project, this new aspect of yourself, whatever it is, right? And then I see these light bulbs up here, right? Light bulbs, illumination. I'm like, what's illumination? The sun, right? So it's like as you're in this new thing, you're exploring it, kind of going back and forth between what you kind of already knew, how it either confirms or contradicts the new information that you're getting, right? Kind of walking a little bit of this tightrope, doing your research. You have these 4 bulbs of illumination. That's sun energy. So I was thinking, I'm like 4 sun signs, right? Like 4 suns, so 4 months, right? And I was asking them, I was like, is this like 2 months prior, 2 months ahead, 4 months prior to right now? And they're saying it's 4 months ahead. So that would be, what is it? We just had Sagittarius. So we're moving into Sun Capricorn, and then we're going to move into Sun Aquarius, Sun Pisces, which now that I'm noticing, this bulb's kind of like mostly not visible, which is interesting because Pisces is like the mystical high priestess, like deep in the depths of the subconscious sign. So it actually makes sense. And then the Sun in Aries. And I think I have this feeling, throat chakra, hello. I have this feeling that whatever it is that you're working on right now, this new thing, the new Scorpio, that over the next like 4 months or so, you're going through the process of becoming like proficient in it, with the last one being Aries, and Aries representing the Emperor, which is proficient, in control, confident, capable, all of that stuff. And it reminded me of, they sent me on this wild goose chase yesterday about Leonardo da Vinci, right? I know. And how he's like a polymath. And then they brought me to like Bill Gates, and how Bill Gates said that he was a polymath. And I'm like, he's an egotist. Anyway, so a polymath is someone that's extremely proficient in like multiple mediums, right? So Leonardo da Vinci, he was extremely proficient in art, in math, in science, in a variety of different things, right? And so I feel as though perhaps being in this new student energy, whatever it was that you were working on before, you would become like proficient in it. So now you're moving into this new territory. And as you do that, you're going to be becoming proficient over the next 4 months in this new thing. It's almost like the process of you becoming a polymath, right? It's like you becoming like a genius. And they're showing me, what's his name? Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory. They're kind of showing me like that. Because it's like, you know, it's like this student energy. Like Dexter was like supposed to be like a child, like supposed to be like real small, but he was like a mad scientist. It's a little bit like that. It's kind of a funny energy. I'm enjoying it. But I am noticing all of this like yellow behind you too. That talks about your solar plexus. That talks about like confidence, your confidence. But there is something about your Vedic chart and how that may, something about the numerology too. The numerology of your Vedic chart. It might help you like with your research, kind of like fine tune your process. Because we so heavily look into our Western charts. Our Vedic charts sort of end up like, they want me to take this card, sort of like the redheaded stepchild, but don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah, beautiful. I kind of like this. So we have the Seven of Wands in reverse. Now, the Seven of Wands is normally a card about like kind of holding your ground, just like standing your ground. But I think, again, it's like this thin line between what you thought you knew. It's like behind the music, right? You think you know, Scorpio, but you have no idea. It's like not holding your ground, not like committing yourself or tying yourself to any school of thought right now. Really allowing like research, exploration, inspiration, all of these things to kind of come in like ebbs and flows for you, sort of like how the wind, see how the wind's like moving towards you? It's almost like it's turning the pages. It's you not like overly committing yourself to any school of thought or anything that seems obvious to you right now. That's actually really cool. Almost like intentionally allowing like your world or your mindsets to get turned upside down to see things from a different perspective. This almost looks a little bit like a bat. She looks a little bit like a bat to me right now, right? Almost like with like stalactites. Okay, I don't know where that word came from. Thank you, 6th grade science. Stalactites like coming out of the cave, right? And like with her arms almost like looking like a little bit like wings. And bats usually represent like moon energy to me as well. But they're also like ancestral energy. So it's almost like information, secrets of the universe, like information that's been around, like universal truths that have been around forever, but have previously like been hidden, moon energy, like veiled from you, and allowing yourself to kind of like dip into the unknown without like committing to any of them being like the absolute truth, and instead exploring all of these different truths that you're going through, new perspectives, your new beat, right? And then picking up kind of tempo and pace in it. 4 of Swords, I like that. Again, this is kind of like that time out. It's like taking that time out energy, kind of waiting for all of these bulbs to get turned on as well, to see almost, with this like your heart on a string, almost to see like what frequency, what vibration almost makes like your heart start beating, almost as though like you'll know that you're on the right track as you continue to do this research and get proficient in whatever like new skill or thing that you're researching, by how like your body reacts to it. There's something in that, but it's like taking that time, again, almost like this incubation student energy. It's like taking that time out to do the research, to kind of like also rest and like sit in the information, mull it over, see how it like incorporates with your emotional state, like with like your body. Also something about tingles, like sometimes I'll get like a piece of information, right, from above, and I'll ask questions, and I'll know that it's right because like my whole body will kind of break out in like tingles or like a pins and needles type of feeling. It's like knowing that I'm like integrating this energy. It's something about that when you're on like the right, I'm almost seeing like a bloodhound, when you're like on the right track, like sniffing out like a certain thing, you'll know if it's for you because of how your body reacts. The vibration will almost get your heart to like start pumping or like be excited, or like pins and needles. I almost see these little twigs like starting to poke you. Something in that. There's something in that. Take it as it resonates, Scorp. Take it as it resonates. The moon in reverse, right? This is the illumination. It's about being like pulled up. It's about being like pulled up for you. It's so big and bright too. The stars at night, deep in the heart of Texas. And see how like these bulbs are kind of blue too? See how they almost kind of mirror like that a little bit, with blue kind of representing your throat chakra? That's maybe why my throat chakra is going off, because your throat chakra also represents your ability to like express your truth. This is also you not really like overly expressing any like solid opinions. It's more of like an exchange of information that you're having, as opposed to being like, this is what it is. This is what the truth is. This is how it all works. It's more about you being like, well, you know, I heard this and I'm thinking about it, and this is an interesting idea. Like, what do you think? And it's more of that like meeting of the minds, that meeting of the minds energy, not, again, like dying on any hill, not expressing like any exact truth, because you're still exploring what the truth is for yourself right now. I'm going to take this card. Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love, do you know what they're showing me? These little, one of those like circus people, and they have like the big stick, and they have like the plates that they like balance on him like this. That's so funny. That's so funny. And you know what? Plates are something that you serve, right? You serve food, maybe about like truth, like you serve food, which is nourishment, right? So this could be intellectual, emotional, spiritual. And then they're bringing me back to when I was saying like the beat, like a cop's beat, like your territory, your patrol, right? In your civic duty, your civil service. This might be like, again, you kind of balancing. I think that's maybe why they're incorporating this like North Node Vedic chart energy as well. The best way for you to kind of serve out like this information, serve your civic spiritual duty, like do the damn thing. It's a little bit like that. And you kind of, again, balancing in that. But there is an element of like net neutrality as well, because you have like the dark and then you have the light, right? Being at kind of a perfect center, being at the perfect center, because those plates, if you're not centered, right? And your little sticky mabobber, which is almost coming through like an Ace of Wands, which is like your energy, your excitement, like your passion, like that forward moving. If that isn't centered, all the plates like will fall down, and then you're not able to serve like that spiritual nourishment, enlightenment, guidance, whatever it is for you. There is something in that. And I always love that she has dice on her shirt too, like almost, again, knowing that it's like a roll of the dice, like, which I think is a little bit exciting to you too, because again, it's like, it's a new beat, it's a new thing that you're working on. And I think that excites you. I think that excites you as well. Okay. Beautiful. Five of Wands and the Queen of Swords. I love this Five of Wands card, because oftentimes the Five of Wands, it's like, it's very competitive. It's very, like, gossip, petty, like ego battle, like hit you with my stick. But in this one, I love it because it almost feels like more communal, like a communal obstacle course. Like instead of stepping all over each other, it almost feels like he's helping this guy get like a leg up. And it looks like she's checking on the guy down here. And she's like making sure this wand is like good, so that way the next person up, right? It's almost like a follow the leader a little bit, but everybody trying to get to like the same point. Again, this sun energy, it's like this illumination. It's very like collaborative, which is why I love this card. And it's like you have a piece and someone else has a piece and someone else has a piece, right? It's like this communal obstacle course. Everyone trying to get to like the same destination, but not stepping all over each other in the process. It's that energy of taking like almost like competition and like using it constructively to like stay on your A game, stay creative, like keep everything you're putting out like really fresh, as opposed to competition in the sense where you gotta put someone else down and you gotta step all over them in order for you to get on top, right? It's like even energies like competition can be really productive and constructive if used in like the proper way. And that's really what this is. I love that. It's almost like, because there are all these different plates too, it's almost like, kind of like a, I'm hearing the word jubilee, almost like a jubilee, or like a circus, or like a parade or something like that, where it's like everybody's got sticks and plates, and like it's almost like if just one of you had a stick and a plate, it'd be easy to just like pass them by. Someone would be like, huh, that's cool. But because there's like 5 of you, maybe it's like actually literally 5 of you, but there's like a group of you all doing it, it becomes like more of like a show, almost like more of like a spectacle that people walk by, and they're like, wait, what's that? It's like a whole thing, right? It's like a whole thing. So it's like more eye-grabbing. It's more like bringing more attention to it, so people are focusing in more, and then they can actually be served, right? They can actually stop to see it long enough, to witness it long enough, to actually digest some of the information. And then it's the Queen of Swords energy, which is beautiful. This is receiving like clarity. Again, it's like, I feel as though, because this is a feminine energy too, that as you're going through this process, I feel like over the next 4 months, like I said, ending in a Aries season where you become the Emperor, you become proficient, you become the polymath, you also become more confident, right? I was saying that with this solar plex yellow as well. You become more confident in your ability to discern the information that you're getting in. If it's in resonance with you, if it makes sense to you, if it digests and integrates well with you, like in your emotional body as well. There also is this energy of like, you're like, again, like sort of like your body having these reactions to information or energies that you're processing that are not in resonance with you, right? It's like when I'm going through like a death process, I break out a lot. And then when I'm going through my rebirth, my skin's nice. It's like something like that. Or like if you're like purging out a lot of energy, some people break out in like rashes, right? It's like there's something in that. There's something in that. It's almost like spiritual intolerances or compatibility, like coming out in your physical form. There's something in that. It's for someone. Take it or leave it. But this is you being confident in your ability to get like higher perspectives, to discern what is coming in, if it feels right to you, if it doesn't. And I love that it's like she has this little bowl, and it's almost like in this little prison over here. And, you know, the bowl represents sort of like an Ace of Cups, but it feels like an actual bowl, right? Like sort of like a plate, like what you would give someone like to serve food in. And I feel like this is also your ability to discern, like, again, what I was saying earlier, what to and to not distribute to other people. Almost like, I haven't quite like digested this enough. I don't really know how I feel about it, so I'm not just gonna like speak it out there into the world. Someone might take it, run off with it, and might do them more harm than good. I'm gonna wait a second. I'm gonna get more of a higher perspective. I'm gonna do some more research. I'm gonna receive some more guidance. It's really cool. It's like a really, really cool energy. I'm loving these flags over here too. It almost feels like markers on the path, like for other people that you're leading as well. Not to tell them where to go, but almost to have them look at it so that way they can think for themselves. Like, do I want to take this one? Do I want to take that one? Do I want to take this one over here? It's a little bit like that. It's almost like markers of contemplation for other people to get them to explore their own discernment, do their own research themselves spiritually, like whatever it is. Get them to like question themselves. They're like, that's funny. They're like question marks. Like markers leave out so people can like question themselves and question like the universe and like everything else. That's so funny how they just said that. They're question marks. You guys are funny. It's funny. I like that. The Hermit. Beautiful. Coming out of isolation. This is, I think, after some of these bulbs start turning on for you, the closer you get into Emperor mode, this is you coming out, right, of isolation. You coming out of reflection, sort of just harnessing your own light for yourself. Again, with that higher perspective, right, kind of above the path, above everyone else, and you being able to kind of like come back down. I'm hearing the, I don't want to come back down from this cloud. A little bit like that, to like descend back into the, because this almost looks like water now, right? When you flip it, it almost looks like water. You kind of like descending back into the like collective consciousness to contribute like what you're like certain about now, what you're more certain about now, like your piece of the blueprint, your piece of the puzzle. 8 of Swords. Beautiful, beautiful. Coming out, like cutting yourself loose cutting yourself loose. Because again, it's like in this reflection, like get rid of the typical Eight of Swords, meaning get rid of the bindings, get rid of the crows, get rid of all that crap, right? This is just you kind of in your own unconscious, like individually, right? Kind of isolated, feeling a little blinded, just trying to feel out everything, right? It's almost like when you blindfold someone and you're like, to extend their other senses, like what do you hear, what do you sense, what do you taste, what do you smell, right? And then again, with this Hermit coming back, it's like coming out of like your own personal unconscious and like coming back into like the physical, to express this to other people. Yeah, beautiful. Two of Wands in reverse and Strength in reverse. Expressing this to other people that are having a hard time, again, determining like which way to go out of a lack of like confidence. And also it's like an insecurity feeling, right? People that aren't super confident in their ability to make their own decisions or guide their own way, but also out of like a lot of self-doubt. That's part of, I think, why you're leaving question marks for people, to also help them like feel more confident to like explore their own intuition, their own guidance, their own like decision making skills as well. It's like teach a man to fish. That's part of this like serving energy. So Scorpio, this is your reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. It was fun to read. It was really fun to read. I'm going to take this over on the Patreon and do the extended, see what else I can pull out of here for you. So if you're coming over, I'll see you there, baby. If not, this is where I leave you. Thank you so much for joining me. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for liking and sharing and subscribing and commenting. You guys you're my baes. All my information is in the description box. So the link to the Patreon for the extendeds, email, Dex, Insta, the whole kit, the whole caboodle. I love you guys very much. Stay prayed up, stay blessed, stay sweet. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.